Okay, I'm going to get started by just welcoming all of you guys. Welcome to Wat Tung. Nice to see all of you guys here this morning. Normally, I would be there with you guys teaching, but I'm actually traveling in the USA right now in order to share the teachings of the Buddha. There's some students of mine that invited me to come here for 4 weeks to be able to teach. So normally I teach in Chiang Mai, but I also travel around the world and teach in different locations. So now I'm in San Francisco, California, and in about a week from now, I'm going to be traveling to Dallas, Texas, and I'll be teaching there as well. And then I'll be back to Chiang Mai on the 11th of April. So I'd like to welcome all of you guys, whether you're joining for the first time or you're joining regularly. Each Sunday and Wednesday, I get together in what's called our group learning program, where on Sundays, I guide students in understanding the teachings of the Buddha, going chapter by chapter in our first book of the book series, where on Wednesdays, what I do is I guide students in meditation, and I share a little bit of the teachings of the Buddha, and then I just open up to any and all questions that you guys have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you in a loving kindness meditation. This is a meditation that's helpful for you to eliminate anger, hatred, ill will, and all the lesser versions like frustration, agitation, annoyance, even the slightest dislike. By the time you get to this enlightened mental state that the Buddha taught through training your mind, you won't even have the slightest dislike towards others. What enlightenment is a mental state where the mind's completely peaceful, calm, serene, and content with joy. It's a permanent mental state where you're no longer experiencing any anger, sadness, frustration, irritation, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear, stress, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, shyness, resentment, jealousy. All of this can be eliminated from the mind through training of the mind. So meditation is an important part of that, but there's other things that you would need as well. But today on Wednesdays, all I do is just a little bit of meditation with you guys and then open up to any and all questions that you guys have. So I'm going to start with some chanting to ease into the meditation. And I see many of you guys have the chanting sheets. You guys are welcome to chant along. If you don't have a chanting sheet, they're over there on the cabinet by the bulletin board. If you'd like to get a chanting sheet, you're more than welcome to get one. Because what I do is I use these in order to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. During the lifetime of the Buddha, they used chanting as a way to help the students commit the teachings to memory, where every 2 weeks the students would come together and they would recite his teachings orally. The technology to write things down didn't exist 2,500 years ago, so that's why he used chanting as a way to help his students to be able to remember his teachings by committing them to their memory. Where today we don't need to chant in order to remember the teachings, but you can see from the origins of chanting that this isn't a rite, ritual, ceremony, worship, or prayer, or anything like that. This is just a way today to help ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation. So if you'd like to chant along, you're more than welcome to. If you read the English translations, you're going to see a lot of appreciation, gratitude, and respect for the Buddha. And because of that, I don't think the Buddha even created these chants himself. They were probably created by his students either during his life or after his death. Because the Buddha wouldn't have walked around and said, here, chant these chants to me out of respect for me. So these chants were most likely created by his students, because if you learn from a teacher how to move from anger, sadness, frustration, and all these other discontent feelings to the peaceful and joyful mental state that is enlightenment, and this teacher didn't want anything or expect anything from you, you'd probably have a lot of appreciation, gratitude, or respect for that person too. So that's why I think these chants actually came from his students, either during his life or after his death. So after the chanting, I'm going to come in with some guidance on breathing mindfulness meditation, where you're going to hear me teaching you and instructing you how to do breathing mindfulness meditation while we're actually doing it. Then there's going to be a brief period of time of quietness where we're just all meditating. Then I'm going to come back in with the affirmations for loving kindness meditation. You're going to hear me say things like, may I be peaceful, or may I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of discontentedness. And when you hear me say this, you would like to repeat this within your own mind on the out breath. And then you're going to hear me go to another ring, like may mom and dad be peaceful, safe, well, and free of discontentedness. I'm going to go through multiple rings until I eventually get to all beings. It's important to understand that when we're doing this meditation, this isn't to change mom and dad. This isn't to invoke some kind of special power in order to get mom and dad to change. This is actually to essentially rewire your mind to be more loving and kind, so that when you're around mom and dad, you can be more loving and kind. Because oftentimes people think the way to solve problems in their relationship is to change other people. but you'll never get to peace and joy in your life and in your relationships by attempting to change other people. You need to be able to change your own mind. And that's what this meditation is going to do, is essentially cultivate more loving kindness in your mind so you can be loving and kind towards all beings. So after that loving kindness meditation, we're going to go back to breathing mindfulness meditation, and then we're going to come out of that with some more chanting. And then that's where I'll just kind of share a little bit of the teachings of the Buddha and open up to any and all questions that you guys might have. So if you'd like to join for meditation, you can take any position you like, either sitting on the floor, in a chair. Maybe if you're at home, you're on a bench or a sofa or a wheelchair. You can sit however you like. I'll give you a little bit of guidance on the seated position because this will kind of help you to find something that's maybe a little bit more comfortable for you than just what you're already sitting in. But just understand what I share with you are just suggestions or recommendations. You can really sit however you like. If you're on the floor, you might have some cushions under your rear. This will kind of help soften your seat a little bit. And if you're going to bring your legs together in the cross-leg position, you might just choose to do that lightly. Whereas if they're real tight, it can impede the circulation in the lower body. Some people like to put their legs off the mat. This gets your hips up in the air and it lessens the angle at the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So you might find that to be helpful. The Buddha put his right hand over his left with his thumbs together, and he put this into his lap. If this is comfortable for you, you could use it, but it's not about everybody doing it exactly the same way. Some people like to put their palms on their thighs or their knees. Some people put their palms up. Some people rest their hands comfortably in their lap. So you can put your hands and arms wherever you like. The same thing's true for anybody who's in a chair, a bench, or a sofa, or a wheelchair. You can also sit however you like. Some people like to put their feet flat on the floor or lightly cross at the ankles. But when I'm there in Chiang Mai, I sit in that chair in the front of the room with my legs crossed. So you could actually sit in a chair with your legs crossed too. And then in terms of your hands and arms, if you're sitting in a chair, you can also put those wherever you like. With your upper body, you would like this to be erect. With your sternum up and your shoulders back, it'll help keep the mind attentive and alert during the meditation. Because meditation is a dedicated, active, purposeful training session where you're eliminating certain unwholesome qualities from the mind and you're cultivating certain wholesome qualities in the mind. So you'd like the mind to be attentive and alert during the meditation. Whereas if you were slouched like this, the mind would have a tendency to be dull or lethargic. But if you were real rigid with your upper body, your mind could be overactive or uptight. So you'd like the upper body to be in the middle with the sternum up and the shoulders back, because not only will it keep the mind attentive and alert, but it'll make it easy for you to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. So again, I'm going to do some chanting to ease into the meditation, and you guys are welcome to join in if you like. And then I'll come back in with the guidance to help you in the meditation. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Mahakeva Wat Tung Mahakavanang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Rasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Iti piso Mahakava Arahang สัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารนังสัมมุโนสกขาโตโรกาวิตูอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสรังพุทโธภาควาติ Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect. Just gradually breathe in through the nose, establishing the breath. Here you're just looking to develop a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. Not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now. and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Then I'll be back with more guidance on loving kindness meditation. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Continuing to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Repeat these phrases in the mind on the out breath. May I be peaceful. May I be safe. May I be well. May I be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May mom and dad be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering that it causes. May my family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors all be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness and the suffering that it causes. May all those who have caused me harm be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all those who I have harmed be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. May all beings, wherever they reside, be peaceful. May they be safe. May they be well. May they be free of all discontentedness in the suffering that it causes. Now return back to breathing mindfulness meditation, focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Mahakeva Wat Tung Mahakavanang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa นะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะอิติปิโสมหะคะวะอะระหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธวิชาจารนังสัมมุโนสกาโตโรกาวิตุอนุเตโรปุริสาดามาสติสัตตาตาวามนุสนังพุทโธภาควาติ Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, welcome to you guys. Nice to see everyone there at the temple today. Nice to see everyone. Welcome. As I was sharing, normally I'm there to be able to share these teachings with you guys. But since I'm traveling, rather than you guys showing up to a locked door, there's members of our community, our students, who decided that they would like to volunteer to come in and open up the doors and let you guys come in and learn a little bit, even though I'm traveling. So thank you to Judy, who's there with you guys. I'm sure you guys probably see her around, where she was willing to come in this morning and open up the doors and get through all the technology to be able to allow me to actually share the teachings of the Buddha with you guys a little bit. So this was loving kindness meditation. This is a meditation that's helping to rewire your mind to be loving and kind. Because in the unenlightened state, you'll have a certain amount of bitterness, harshness, and hostility in your mind. And when you put that out, it's actually damaging your relationships. And oftentimes people think that that's coming from other people, where in reality, it's actually coming from your own mind. You can transform all of this to get to the point where you're loving and kind with all the people around you. There's more than just this loving kindness meditation that you would need in order to be able to get to a point where all your relationships are harmonious. But this is an important component of that, to be able to help you get to the point where you have love and kindness towards others. Right now, when you're getting angry and sad and frustrated and irritated and annoyed, you might think that it's other people that are causing this, but it's actually coming from your own mind. The unenlightened mind craves permanence while you live in an impermanent world. Everything around you is constantly changing, but the mind craves permanence. And when the mind gets what it wants, it experiences pleasant feelings like happiness, excitement, elation, thrill, exhilaration, or euphoria. But when the mind doesn't get what it wants, it gets painful feelings like anger, sadness, frustration, and others. And when that's arising, you think that it's other people that are causing you to be angry. So what the mind will tend to do is you'll push people away, or you'll push a situation away. This is called aversion. But you can see that this doesn't actually work, because when you push people out of your life, you still get angry and frustrated and irritated. If they were the true cause of your anger and frustration, when you push them out of your life, you'd be peaceful and joyful from that point forward. Or the second thing that you'll do when you think that the problem is external and that it's other people who are causing you to be angry and frustrated, is you'll be bitter and harsh and hostile to them through your intentions, your speech, and your actions. It's almost like an animal growling and roaring at another animal. And the third thing you'll do is you'll tend to put your expectations on people, try to pressure them to do things your way. And people might actually be doing this to you too, where they're pushing you away, they're being bitter, harsh, and hostile to you, or they're putting their expectations on you and trying to pressure you to do things their way. But there's a better way of life here. And that's what the Buddha actually taught. He didn't teach rules and commandments. He didn't teach a bunch of beliefs. He didn't teach rites, rituals, ceremonies, worship, and prayer. If you're seeing any of these kinds of things associated with the teachings of the Buddha, that's not actually from the Buddha. The Buddha taught you to actually train your mind and cultivate wisdom. Because with this wisdom, you can navigate the world more peacefully, and you can get to a point where all your relationships are harmonious. But you need to be able to see that it's your own mind that's causing these feelings. Because as I mentioned, people typically go around firmly believing that it's other people that are causing these feelings, when in reality, it's coming from your own mind. So the very first teaching of the Buddha is called the Four Noble Truths, where you understand the problem in the mind, the cause of the problem, the elimination of it, and the path forward of how to actually solve it. So I'm just going to stop here and see if you guys have any questions of anything you'd like to ask me, because on Wednesdays, I just do meditation with you guys and just share a little bit with you guys and then just open up to whatever questions you guys have. If you guys have questions, there's microphones there that Judy has in the bowl. All you need to do is get a microphone and press the gray button. You'll see the lights come on, and you can just hold this up to your chin and we'll be able to hear you all throughout the live stream. And for those of you guys that are in Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, if you guys would like to ask questions, you can put that into the comment section, and I'll be able to see that in the comment section, and I'll be able to call on you. Or if you are in Zoom, you can electronically raise your hand and ask any and all questions you like that way. So does anybody have any questions that you guys would like to ask? Maybe everybody's shy, huh? That's one of the things with the unenlightened mind is it's usually shy. It doesn't like to talk in front of other people. Okay. So I don't see any questions anywhere. You have questions, Judy? Are there questions? I see you moving around there. No questions? Okay. So what I'll do then is I'll just end class by thanking all of you guys for joining. Oh, Judy, you getting ready to talk?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't find the raise hand button. I just want to ask, since we did the loving kindness meditation today, in order for it to be effective for us, how often would you suggest we do it, and kind of like what time of day or anything like that to help, make it be more effective?
Sure. So there's a breathing mindfulness meditation and loving kindness meditation where you can do breathing mindfulness by itself and you can do loving kindness by itself, like we just did. And you would like to build up to 2 or 3 sessions per day for 30 minutes. And this loving kindness meditation, you would need to do it at least once a day. And it's best to do it in the morning because you kind of fill up your gas tank and you go out into the world being loving and kind. So the meditation is going to rewire your mind and kind of help permeate loving kindness in your mind. But the real transformation that is going to need to happen in order for you to experience transformation in your relationships is not just the meditation, but you're going to need to go out into the world and be loving and kind through your intention, speech, and actions. And it's through interacting with mom and dad and brothers and sisters and all these people that's where the real transformation is occurring. So if you do this meditation in the morning, it kind of sets you up to go out in your day and be loving and kind through your intention, speech, and actions where the real transformation is occurring. So even though I recommend people to do this in the morning, that doesn't mean you couldn't do it in the afternoon or the evening, because you can. It's just that if you're going to put it somewhere kind of consistently in your practice, the morning is the best place to put it. And then if you're noticing at any point during your day that you're having anger or frustration, you can do this meditation, and you need to customize it for your specific needs, which is what I usually teach in some of the more in-depth classes.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I'm not seeing any other questions anywhere. So
I don't think so from here.
Okay, what I'm going to do is just end by thanking all of you guys for joining. Thank you for your interest to learn and understand the teachings of the Buddha. We have other classes and courses and retreats that are available. You'll see them on our bulletin board over there. You'll also find it on our website. I'll be back to Chiang Mai on the 11th of April. And from that point forward, I'll be teaching regularly there at the temple. So whatever you choose to do today, have a very lovely and wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Take care. Sawadee krap. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.